penalty area. Oh my goodness! Nonto with a sensational strike. Jones getting it across, and Clark going in.
Good afternoon, thank you for joining us here on Matchday Live for third round FA Cup action as Leeds United head to London Road to face the Posh. You can listen to today's audio commentary around the world by buying yourself a subscription. Just head over to the LUTV website and you can pick it up there. Joining us for this one, we have the former Leeds United women's captain and my best mate, Bridie Hannon. Thanks for joining us, Bridie.
Thank you very much for having me.
Look, we know that the league is what is really important this season, but you cannot take anything away from the FA Cup, can you? You know, we've heard Daniel Farker talk about the history, the heritage, and just how important it is as a competition. And both the manager and the players will want to progress in it.
The FA Cup is a fantastic competition. It's very prestigious. You know, it's the longest, competition in club football. And, you know, when you're growing up as a footballer, you want to be playing in the FA Cup. It's the chance to play at Wembley. And you get the opportunity to play against, teams, in lower divisions as well as higher divisions. And don't forget, for some people, this could change the careers. So it's a really exciting game, for the club and for the fans. I know Peterborough are going to be absolutely buzzing about going into today's game. Again, they've got another sellout at their ground today, so yeah, it should hopefully be a good game.
Another sellout at their ground because it's our 13th consecutive away FA Cup fixture. How much, when you look at that, Bridie, is it a disadvantage? Because for Peterborough, this is huge for them at home. For us, it's the travelling fans.
They've had a fantastic, home record this year, as have we, and they've made their home ground into a bit of a fortress, like what we have. So, the fact that they've got all the fans there today, it's a massive occasion for them. And for us, we just need to make sure that we go out there, professional performance, do the basics, and it's important that for us that we, get through the game unscathed. We don't want any suspensions, we don't want any more injuries. So it'd be really nice, obviously, to get an easy win out the game today. But I don't think it's going to be easy, if I'm being honest.
No, me neither, Bridie. And look, when you talk about home form, Peterborough kind of relish that in the same way that Leeds United do. They've only lost once at home this season, and they're currently 15 games unbeaten at London Road, which is no mean feat. What kind of game are you expecting from them today?
Like I said, I think it'll be a really tough game. I think they are very similar to Leeds United in how they play. They like playing attacking, free-flowing football. Their managers kind of said before the game that they're going to respect Leeds United, but they're not going to fear us. And Daniel Farker has said in his pre-match conference that he expects this to be a really tough game. And they're like championship level, really. They're third in the league. They're going for promotion. They're very close to getting into that automatic spot. Obviously, there's still a way of the season to go, but this isn't going to be an easy game for Leeds United.
Look, we'll hear from Daniel Farker ahead of this game, and he's going to talk about his approach. But what do you think our approach is going to be to this?
I think we've just got to get at them early. I think, we can't start sloppy. I think the fans are going to be quite nervous. Let's face it, as fans, we know we've had some pretty poor results, in the past against some lower league opposition. The fans are going to be a little bit nervous. So yes, we had a really good win last week. We need to carry that into this game and try and build a little bit of momentum.
Right, let's talk team news, okay? I'm sorry, Bridie, I'm going to talk at you for a minute, but I promise I'm going to follow it up with questions, okay?
Fine.
Plenty of changes in today's game. 6 changes from that 3-0 win against Birmingham. 3 in the back line. Jamie Shackleton is going to come in at right back, Junior Firpo in at left back. Ethan Ampadu replaces Liam Cooper at centre half alongside Joe Roden. That means Luke Ayling and Liam Cooper drop to the bench. In midfield, Ilya Gruev comes in for Glenn Kamara. Archie Gray as well moves from right back to midfield to fill the void of Ethan Ampadu. Ampadu, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm sure he's going to relish that opportunity. Wide areas as well, Dan James and Crescencio Somerville drop to the bench, and Anthony and Nonto start, and Joel Peru replaces Jorginho Rutter. Now, Bridie, when you look at that amount of changes, because changes are expected in the club, but 6 out of your starting 11, were you expecting that many ahead of this game?
No, I wasn't, to be honest. I did expect a couple of the players that have been coming off from the bench to start. I expected to see Poveda in there. Obviously, we've not seen him. You know, Charlie Cresswell maybe could have got in there. But yeah, so quite shocked to see some of the changes. Really shocked to see Ampadu in at centre back. Although I know he can do a job there. He's played that position previously. I think Archie Gray going into the centre midfield, he's done a fantastic job this season, as we all know, at right back. He will be relishing that opportunity to kind of really show, you know, his natural position, and I'm hoping that he can get forward a little bit more. And we spoke a little bit before the game about how our attacking players have been outstanding this season. That's why we are where we are in the league, but I really want to see a little bit more from the midfield and try and get them into kind of, you know, attacking positions and get in and out, in and around the box. So yeah, really interested in terms of some of the changes today.
Yeah, and also defensively, like you mentioned with Ethan Ampadu, but quite a few, I mean, the chunk of the changes happening at the back there. What do you make of that defensive lineup?
I think it's a really strong lineup. I think Firpo came in last week and did a really good job. I think he got man of the match, actually, so I was really impressed with Firpo. Rodon, as we know, has been outstanding this season. Ampadu, I find him really, really calm and collected on the ball, so I'm sure we'll be trying to play out the back, and it should be no different to how we normally play. And then I'm really pleased to see Jamie Shackleton back in there. Obviously, he's been injured, but prior to him getting injured, he was really consistent, and he likes to get forward. He's really quick as well. So yeah, I'm really glad that he's back in the fold today.
And as for this Peterborough side, who are the danger men? Who do we need to be looking out for today, do you think?
Yeah, they've got a star striker, if I can find his name, with my research. So yeah, they've got a really good striker at the moment. He's got Mason Clark. He scored 10 goals and got 6 assists. So I think we really need to be mindful of him. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago against Preston about one of the left-sided players, and that player went on to score and have an assist against us. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong today with that. But yeah, we need to keep him quiet up front.
Can you just name every other player in the squad as well?
I will if you want me to.
Do that to you, right. Let's head over to London Road for the first time this afternoon, shall we? And hear from our commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo.
It's a 4 coats minimum day here at London Road as we look forward to the first game in Leeds United's FA Cup campaign. Hopefully, of course, not the last. Team news first, lots to talk about. As anticipated, quite a few changes, Tony.
Yeah, I think it's important after the Christmas and New Year period. A lot of players played, plenty of minutes, so rotation is key. We've got a big squad, so players will be coming in to really prove themselves, get some minutes under their belt, and they're nice and fresh.
Ethan Ampadu skippers the side for the first time today. I think we're expecting to see him in a central defensive role, a role he has played before.
Yeah, and I think certainly from Ethan's point of view, being central to everything, seeing everything in front of him as well. He's a good leader. You can tell the way he plays. I think he'll be looking forward to it. And I'm sure, being captain, he'll want to certainly sign off with a win today.
Another game up top for Patrick Bamford, with Peru this time. Is that about keeping momentum going for Patrick?
I think it's really important after getting his first goal that he gets fitter and sharper, because we're going to need every single player, and a firing Patrick Bamford is going to be really important to us. So good to see him score. Hopefully he gets another one today.
Peterborough going really well in the league at the moment, going particularly well here at their own stadium. This looks like a tricky cup tie, does it not?
We know from past seasons that this is always a tricky cup tie. Wherever you go, lower leagues, this is a huge game for Peterborough. They think they've got a chance, and that's dangerous. So we've got to match that fight. And it's okay saying, well, we've got better players, but it doesn't work out that way. It's making sure we win that fight first and then go and play our stuff. And handling the occasion is going to be important.
League focus obviously prevails. What's the significance of this competition to Leeds?
I think it's always about momentum, and I think rotation is important. Yes, we have a game against Cardiff coming up. That's hugely important. But keeping the run going, we've got back on track, a good 3-0 win against Birmingham City. We want to keep that going. So keep doing the right things. I think standard still needs to be set, maintained, and those players out there today will realise that they've got to put in a really good performance.
So there you go. Aim of the exercise. Make sure you're in the draw tomorrow evening.
Good point you made there, actually, about Ethan Ampadu taking on the role of the captain. And we talk about relishing opportunities, Bridie, but this is a huge opportunity for him in that respect to show off his leadership skills. In your experience, how important is that?
Yeah, it's a massive opportunity for him. He's been fantastic this season, and I think one of the key things is consistency. And sometimes leaders are not always the players that are shouting and bawling the loudest on the pitch and barking out orders. It's just somebody sometimes, especially when things aren't going great, just to kind of get the ball under control and set the tempo and set the pace. And I think he'll do that today. I hope he has a good game, and obviously I hope we get the win. And no doubt he'll be a future captain for Leeds in the future.
What kind of captain were you, Bridie? Were you a shouter?
I was a shouter. you often see me pointing about like this, yeah.
Look, they also spoke about that result again against Birmingham, coming off the back of a 3-0 win. How important is it to continue and run with that momentum?
Yeah, we've spoke about momentum before, and it didn't always go to plan the following game.
Yeah, you cursed us.
I did curse us, yeah. But no, there's still a long way to go. I think, like I said, there's 20 games left, but getting a win is just going to do wonders for confidence. And obviously, we can see Patrick Bamford's goal there. A man who's now going to be full of confidence after that goal.
Absolutely, because in the spirit of New Year, New Me, Patrick Bamford started off 2024 with the first goal of the year for Leeds United. A man that you could see there how much his teammates were rooting for him, and you could see just how much that goal meant to him. He was desperate for it, really, wasn't he? Yeah,
he's had a really difficult season. Obviously, as we know, he's not played a lot of football, but he's been such a good ambassador for the club. He was massive in terms of the promotion push to the Premier League. And when I've been at Ellen Road this season and he's been warming up, the fans have been singing his name even as he's been warming up. The fans do love him. So the fact that he played 90 minutes last week and got that goal, I thought was outstanding. But it wasn't just the goal for me. I think he does a lot of unselfish runs that create space for other players. So I think it's just his all-round kind of performances. Whether I've been listening to podcasts and stuff, and they say whether you like it or lump it, he is our natural number 9. So I think you saw that last week in not just the goal but his all-round performance.
So you say you've been listening to podcasts. I think you mean the official Leeds United podcast.
Yes,
don't
that's
you?
the one.
Correct. Thought so. Also saw goals from Dan James and Crescencio Somerville, 2 players who, when you look at that bench, if you're the opposition in any game, you're looking at that bench and going, they are a threat. If they come on, it's all eyes on them.
Yeah, I mean, between them, they've got 20 goals this season and a few assists as well. If you're Peterborough, you're glad that they're not playing, and you'd be thinking, let's take this opportunity while some of their players are on the bench. Some of the best players, you could argue, this season are on the bench. So they're going to want to start really well. They're going to want to get an early goal, as are we. But to have them on the bench and ready to come on should we need them is a great advantage for us.
Okay, well, let's get the thoughts of Daniel Farker and find out what his approach is to today's game, shall we?
I was even convinced before that he would be there with a good performance, because I could see him growing under the leadership of Ed Wooten each and every day in training. But it's then definitely something different when you play the first game in a competitive game, his first big full debut for us, and then the full packed Elland Road, an important game. And he had not so much to do, but he was there in 1 or 2 situations also with good positioning and also some good saves. So to return back to the dressing room with a clean sheet is always a perfect game for a goalkeeper. I'm pretty delighted for him, because he deserves it. He's a great lad and works hard on the training pitch, and he has all our backing and his trust, and we trust him also for the FA Cup game. I'm quite sure that he will also deliver a good performance. First of all, I will tell them that they've got quite a good record in cup competitions. So in order to motivate them, and we are always respectful. So for me, it's more or less a game on championship level, because if you're one of the top teams in League One, you have the quality like a team who is perhaps in mid-table, or at least in the bottom half of a championship. Otherwise, you can't be in the top position in League One and fight for promotion. We are seeing what Ipswich, for example, is doing during this season on championship level, and last season they played on League One. So it's a really good side, and also a home game for them, a special stage for them to play against Leeds United, and each and every player would like to use this stage in order to impress. And for that, we expect a pretty tight game and a difficult game, and we have to be there on our best level, because especially also to bring a bit more consistency in our away results also in the league is one of the topics for 2024. And yes, we want to start in the FA Cup knowing that, yeah, it's perhaps not the importance of a cup final right now in this game, because it's just more or less for us the first round. But nevertheless, we want to be there with good performance and want to go through in order to come as far as possible in this competition. I'm a big believer in cup competitions. If I wouldn't believe in the cup competition, we would send them straight away into the next one and say, no, we don't travel. I'm a big believer. I want to go as far as we can come, and I want to win each and every round. And I know it's not realistic that we win the FA Cup, but I mentioned, who knows? I think it's 50 years ago, meanwhile, for Leeds United. And yes, it's a great competition with a big history. And I think it's also responsibility to present our club and our shirt also in this cup in the best possible way. And for that, we won't do something stupid in team collection. We won't risk any players, but we will also put a strong lineup out, because we want to go into the next round knowing that it will be a difficult task. There's no doubt about this, but we're looking forward to have this game and want to go into the next round. This is also the mentality I want to bring into this club. Whenever you put a Leeds shirt on, if it's a league game, a cup game, a preseason game, whatever, just a friendly show game, yes, you have to take the responsibility that you present this shirt in a proper way. And yes, the FA Cup is one of the biggest cup competitions in whole Europe. For me, the competition with the biggest history in football, and to play this cup competition, the motherland of football. So no one has to motivate me, and if no one has to motivate me, then also not my players. So I will make sure that we are on it in this game. Again, it's not a guarantee that we will go through, because it will be a difficult game, and we are very respectful. But we'll try our best in order to go into the next round.
Look, he takes the cup very seriously. We heard that there, and he spoke about the fact that he wasn't going to risk any players, but he also expects this team to get the job done. And when you look at that starting 11, Bridie, they should be able to get the job done today.
Yeah, look, on paper we should win comfortably, but we know that's not always the case. We're Leeds United. We like to make things a little bit more difficult for ourselves. But having said that, we do need to treat this game like any other game. You know, it's a must-win game ultimately. So the players need to, you know, get the right mindset from the first minute really. And like I said, you know, we want to get through this game unscathed. You know, we don't want any injuries or suspensions, and we just need to do the basics right. You know, we don't need to treat this game any differently just because they're in the league below. You know, we need to make sure that we just do the basics and play our football. Ultimately, we want possession. We want to get forward. And you know, when you look at a lot of the match stats, we have most possession in most of the games. We have most of the shots. We've done really well defensively. So we need to keep that up today, and hopefully we'll play more football in their half.
Look, we have seen in recent years though cup exits that haven't affected our league form. So whilst it is every win's a win, and it's important that we go out there with the aim of winning, the result today shouldn't affect our league form, should it? It
shouldn't, but you know, this is a different team, it's a different manager, so you're saying it shouldn't, but and I'm hoping it won't. But you know, at the end of the day, we need to go. We want to get promoted this season, and you know, for me, no good comes out of losing games like this. You know, if we get through this game and we draw, you know, a Championship team or a Premier League team, if we lose against those, you go, fair enough. But lose a game like this, you know, it's going to hit the headlines. And to be honest, as a player, you would be embarrassed to lose a game like this. And you know, you don't really want that going into this new year, especially on the back of a great win against Birmingham. You know, you want to carry forward this momentum like we talked about.
Completely. And you know what it's like. You know how memorable these moments in these games can be, because the Leeds United women's team, you had a pretty memorable experience in the FA Cup last season, didn't you, when you came up against Arsenal in the 4th round. Those are the games that make this competition so special, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, on the route to Arsenal, we had to beat a few teams that were in the league above. And again, you know, on paper, we had nothing to lose. We kind of went out there, and I think teams kind of underestimated us, and therefore we did really well and got the win. But you know, to get through to a team, you know, like Arsenal, you know, we travelled down to London. They're a professional outfit. We train twice a week. So to go there and stay overnight in a hotel, as basic as that sounds, you know, for women's football, it's amazing. And you know, it's opportunity
opportunities that some people will never get in their lifetime again, to play against Arsenal. And when you look at the Arsenal ladies players, you know, England international, some of the best players in the world, it's just what an opportunity that is.
Absolutely. Well, one man who knows just how special the cup is Dan James. You might remember in 2019 that goal for Swansea against Brentford with the exceptional commentary over it. He caught up with LUTV to talk about what the cup means to him.
Dan, it's always great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Let's start by touching upon about the Birmingham game. Great response, great reaction. Happy with how it went?
Yeah, I think we were obviously disappointed in that Christmas period. Didn't pick up as many points as we wanted to. But it was important to come out in the new year and have a good performance, which we did. Keeping a clean sheet was obviously big for us, and to get the 3 points was massive for us to get back our confidence going into the next games.
How is it over a Christmas period when we have a bit of a indifferent kind of form what we had? You don't see your family as much as everybody else does outside of football. How is that as a period as a player?
I think it's obviously different. I think you get used to it pretty quick. We still obviously see them a lot. Maybe don't have a Christmas dinner, but it's obviously part of the job. Done it for a long time now, and it kind of just becomes that normality.
And to get the win, like we're saying, and the performance more than anything, was that really pleasing looking back on that?
Yeah, it was a big performance. We dominated from the start. As I said, go back to Christmas period, it was 2 games in 3 days, and it was 2 losses, which we were obviously really disappointed about. And then it's about by showing that resilience that we could come back in the new year and show the way we want to play and with confidence, and that's what we did. And we dominated from the start, and we got that 3 points.
For yourself, last time we spoke, 3 months ago it was, just looking back on it, and you hadn't scored a goal up until that point. And in the interview you said you wanted to start adding goals to your assists. Now you're sat here 3 months later, you've got 8 to your name. How happy have you been with that kind of side, but your overall form as well, because you're a real threat going forward?
Obviously super happy. I'm quite critical on myself. I always want to achieve more, and there's obviously been a lot of opportunities. Maybe Birmingham probably should have had a hat trick, but I've always striving to do more. I think it's obviously important for me to add goals and assists to the team, because that's what I'm in the team for. So I just want to keep continuing that.
What do you put the goals down to then? Is it kind of a positional part of your game where if the ball's on the left, for example, you're coming in on the right hand side, or is it the composure in your finishing? Is it just a mixture of kind of everything?
Maybe a mixture of everything. I think it's always important to not get the easy goals, but the ones where you kind of have to make that last sprint or be in the right position for a cutback or a cross back post, and that's something that I want to keep doing. But I think it's down to a bit of everything really, but mainly players play me in, and hopefully they keep doing that.
It's a break from the league action. FA Cup at the weekend, Peterborough away. What is your memories growing up of the FA Cup, because it is the oldest cup competition in the world?
Yeah, I think it's a cup competition that when you're younger, it's always what you wanted to play in. It's a brilliant competition. Teams from non-league are in it, and that just makes that extra special. And it's one that we want to get far in. I can't really remember my earliest memories of it, to be honest. Just know that it's a great competition, and we want to start well on the weekend. It's not going to be an easy game. Peterborough have been great this season, and it's going to be very tough.
I was going to say, because from our perspective, we know the aim for this season is to get promotion back to the Premier League. But what can a cup run do to help us with that?
We're obviously expected to win at the weekend, with them being the league below, but the FA Cup isn't. It's special, and it's tough to go to these teams. You see upsets all the time, and we want to go there, full of confidence, and get through to the next round.
3, 2, 1.
Right then, kick-off is just a few minutes away. So, Bridie, before we head over to London Road, I know that you love a fact, and you've got one today, courtesy of Julie, aka your mum. Take it away.
So the reason why Peterborough are nicknamed the Posh is because a previous manager wanted to buy posh players for a posh new club, and it just stuck.
There you go. Thank you very much, Julie. Right then, score prediction.
I'm going 2-1 today. Patrick Bamford, both goals.
Oh, he would love that. Fingers crossed, eh? Right, before we head over to London Road and join our commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo, let's get the thoughts of today's captain, Ethan Ampadu.
Well, Ethan, FA Cup campaign starts with what looks like potentially a tricky tie, doesn't it?
No, of course it's going to be tricky. They're on a good run of form. They've done very well in the league this year. But yeah, like I said, FA Cup, every game's going to be tricky. But we know what we need to do to get into the next round.
Few changes to the side as anticipated, but it still looks like a strong team. Should be able to do a job.
No, of course. I think no matter what 11 is picked, we've got good depth. We've got a good squad of very good players, and everyone's ready for when given the opportunity.
You wear the armband today. Proud moment?
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, hopefully we can win whilst wearing it. But yeah, like I said, a proud moment. But I mean, nothing changes from my point of view. Still going to try and make the right decisions at the right time.
What do you need to do in a cup tie? What's the first job you need to do in a cup tie like this, away from home, lower division opposition?
Put your stamp on the game. Of course, their fans, their crowd are going to be up for it. They're going to push them on. They're going to want to get what we would call an upset. But it's for us to make sure that's not the way it's going to be today.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, the road to Wembley for Leeds United this season in the FA Cup starts here. It starts here at London Road.